Oh, test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Oh, there it is. Test 1 2. Alrighty. Do you want to start over again?
Oops. No, just kidding. Honestly, you haven't missed a whole lot if you're just now tuning in. We'll try to figure out how to truncate that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll try to add something that says skip ahead to about, what are we at? Again, if you would like to apply for the unpaid internship with the Evan and Aaron Show presents the Red and Blue Soccer Chat.
We got to come in right, man. We got to come in right. Hit the theme again. Hit the theme again, buddy. Okay, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, take 2.
Yeah, so if you can't tell, it's been a minute since we've all, used all the equipment. We were kind of doing this at home, and then the whole Riverside and Zoom kind of thing. So, again, low budget show.
We are more than willing to accept, sponsors and stuff like that if you'd like to help.
Yeah. So to recap, Giovanni Reina is a little bitch. No, absolutely, just kidding. Nothing sums up American soccer other than the drama that has been going on here. It's frustrating to see because we should be talking about having a decent showing at the World Cup. That people are frustrated that we really if we win that Wales match and we put ourselves in a slightly better position to move on, we're not necessarily playing the Netherlands in the next round, that sort of thing. So that's frustrating. But instead we're talking about this soap opera.
Yeah.
And the big hitters here are, I think we agree, if Gio Reyna is playing well for his club team and gets called in and just demonstrates his commitment. I love that breakdown. Goddamn Phil Collins. Has everybody seen the video of that people do of so there's like a deer? And he's like, he falls.
He's going through the kids.
And then there's one where a drunk guy's at the top of his stairs to his basement, and he falls down to drums. But the best is there's a guy in his kitchen who's listening to the song, and he's got all his cabinets open, and he goes, da-doom, da-doom. He closes all his cabinets in perfect time to it. You got to check it out. Okay, I would mention, get on YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Yeah,
hopefully we're allowed to say the words you and tube. Who knows? We get demonetized over the silliest
all
shit.
The time.
We're probably going to get demonetized because you could hear the drum break in the air tonight.
Yes.
So, whatever. Even though we're in a public place.
A pub broadcast.
Yeah, we're openly mocking you.
The YouTubes.
Elon, if you're listening, this goes on your platform as well.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Eat a dick.
What we were saying before is Gio Reyna, whether we want to admit it or not, he's a professional. The guy's a professional.
Yes.
And like I said, I think that if it was just left to him and Berhalter, if it was just left to those two to work things out, I think things would have been worked out. And I think he would have still had a place on the team. I think, yes, he'd have to, go to the team. So, not as drastic and not as Hollywood, but kind of like what Jamie Tart had to do, with the team.
I was a hot-headed player in my youth.
In your youth?
And yes, and even recently.
I was going to say, like maybe yesterday.
I have lashed out on a field, lashed out in practice, lashed out at teammates, lashed out at opposition, lashed out at referees, and have had to apologize. And by and large, what everybody tends to say is, "Thank you. Get your shit right and help us win on Saturday."
But I like the way you apologize because you usually buy drinks. You're like, guys, look, I screwed up. Hey.
Well, when I was 18, I wasn't really drinking. Actually, 17. I was not 18 in high school. No, I really didn't drink much in high school. I know I was a late bloomer, ladies and gentlemen. I know you can't believe it. I know you can't. This baby face that I would be a late bloomer. Yes.
Yes. There you go.
I just got pubes.
Oh! Wow.
Found one, got rid of it right away.
Right away.
But yeah, I mean, there isn't much time to spend, or there isn't a need to spend much time on it. We, as I predicted, we've got some youngsters and MLS guys coming into camp. It's not a great time to play some friendlies, but Serbia, Colombia, they'll be a good test. Be interesting to see who they bring and their quality. But it's just not needed right now because we need leadership from U.S. soccer, which we don't have. You know, they've not said this is who we really want going forward. Apparently, they approached Zinedine Zidane, and he said no. Which, I mean, he doesn't want that type of job. He doesn't speak English very well.
Yes.
A lot of reasons to not have him in that position. But it does show a little ambition to reach out to him. I think more realistic people need to be approached. But unfortunately, as long as the same people are in charge of U.S. soccer, I just don't see much changing. And that's frustrating because I think we have quality players.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that roster, and it's easy to say, okay, these guys now, you know, we have a team full of guys starting for major clubs across Europe and internationally.
Right.
As do most top nations. But more importantly, if you offered Yunus Musa, Tyler Adams, and Weston McKennie as a package deal, there's an awful lot of club teams in the world be like, yes, I'll totally revamp my midfield because those three guys are balling. Absolutely balling.
Yep.
Pulisic, when he's healthy and on his day, is a mercurial type player that can change games. I think Timothy Weah showed his worth. Our defense is solid. We've got Matt Turner getting decent minutes at Arsenal. Lots of young guys coming up. We're trying to cap 3 dudes that we've been fighting back and forth with Mexico for.
Right.
There's a lot to be excited about. U.S. soccer needs to put their stamp on things and say, here's the next coach of this national team that is going to lead us to the next World Cup and hopefully deep into the World Cup that we're hosting.
Yeah, 26 is coming. I mean, it is coming. And so the longer this drama goes on, the longer it's going to take for us to actually start, gelling together.
Absolutely.
So we need to put this shit behind us. We need to make sure that we are a team that is together, a team that actually knows that the goal is to get past the first round of the knockout round now. I mean, it's been set. That's
an absolute must.
So we've got to do that. We're hosting it, so that's got to be it.
Yeah. So I think we've expended enough time on that. Let's move to. So it's fitting that they mentioned City there because the big talking point is going to be Manchester United on this really nice run and defeating a City side that had not lost a Premier League match in 42 games when they scored first.
Man.
So huge for United to come back from that. Had a blip today. We can go into that a little bit later if we want to, but I think you really have to continue to focus on the positives here. United's defense, keeping Haaland completely in check. Marcus Rashford, who has been on the kind of form that players dream of, especially since the World Cup.
Right.
Something like 9 goals in 8 games, 8 goals in 7 games, something like that. First United player to score in like 6 or 7 consecutive games for quite some time. Really a lot of positives to focus on. The resurgence of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the partnership between what Casemiro and Eriksen, the platform they set and allow Bruno to go on to is excellent.
Oh my. See, they're going to want us to do this now because
we're going to pause. We're going to pause.
She comes with the knockback right there.
So we're going to have it. So.
No.
Well, early. Step into shot. So these are the lovely ladies at Chat and Tap Fishers. Be nice to them. Tip them well because they are very, very nice to us.
Yes.
We thank them for always allowing us to be here. As you can see, the scroll says Saturday morning early, 7 o'clock. There will be breakfast.
Claire will be here.
Yep.
I will be here.
Yes.
There you go.
Tip her very well.
JoJo.
Tip her very well. And then Sunday at 11 o'clock, regular menu, which means get those damn wings. They're the bomb.
There you go.
We love this place. Chatham Tap. Thank you, ladies.
Slanty.
Cheers.
Slanty.
Cilantro.
Go Bengals. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I was a childhood Bengals fan. We lost Bengals skeleton.
Joey B.
Where did our skeleton?
All right. Shots.
Is it against the law to chase Jameson with Jameson?
No.
It's encouraged.
No. I mean, Indiana might have a law against it because Indiana has dumbass laws, but still.
The best way to chase Jameson
Hell yeah, it is.
is more Jameson.
But back to where we were, there's a lot for United to be, positive about. Today it's a minor setback. Honestly, I'm more disappointed in Casemiro getting a fifth yellow card and not now being available for the Arsenal match of the weekend than the 1-1 draw, because really we had our opportunities and didn't put them away. But the yellow card for Casemiro could have been avoided. He didn't even need to play today, quite frankly. You played him. You brought on Scott McTominay, and I can't remember who you brought him on for, Eric, but you didn't take off Casemiro, who was already close to a yellow card.
Yeah.
That, I haven't seen his post-match press conference, so I don't know if he's deflected a little bit, which a manager's going to do. He's a hardliner, I'll give him that.
Right.
But that was a management failure and a player failure to a certain extent, but he'd done his day, and now we're going to be without one of our top players for this season for a match where we really need somebody to control and hold down the opposition midfield, because Arsenal have been tremendous.
Right, but let me say this. I will say this, that today, is a blip, but they're 12th. They're, Crystal Palace is 12th. They have incredible athletes on that team. I mean, when you get, obviously, when you get to the EPL level, you're going to be able to compete. These guys can compete. Zaha can compete. Schlupp can compete. I mean, they have Olise?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Olise, who scored the goal, as a matter of fact. He scored the goal. So you have people on this team who are capable of scoring goals. They've just been in a drought. But this is a good team. This is not like giving up a goal to, like, let's say, a Bournemouth or a, I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's not like that. It's totally different. This is a mid-tier team that is going to get their wins every once in a while. They just are. And so, I wouldn't feel too bad about today. Yes, in the large picture of things, it hurt a little bit, but that's just the way it is. We have a few comments.
We do. John McGilvery, thank you for tuning in. For some reason, I don't get them. Do you get them?
No, and that's the thing. They fade, and then whenever you touch
So,
the screen,
John, appreciate you tuning in. It was good to hear from you.
I've had to buy a few beers.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think that nobody wants to play Man U right now. They definitely don't want to go to Old Trafford. And if they have them coming into their house, it's one of those to where you look at the schedule, because last year I think you could look at the schedule and you could be like, okay, Man U, they're really not on their game, so we probably will win that. I think now you look at your schedule and you circle that match, and you're like, we got to get up for this, which is an incredible, just validation of what Erik ten Hag is doing at that club. Because, and I'm going to hit the button myself, it's his team now.
It absolutely is, and first he'll say no, it's our team, because it's a unified locker room. But I get exactly what you're saying. It absolutely is. He's playing without the fear and kind of overshadowing of Ronaldo. He's become again the player that he was for the first 6 months after the transfer in 2020. But just as important, it's interesting the knock-on effect or the collaboration that occurs that allows top players to get even better, because, you're...
Texting your bartender.
Thank you.
Did you just do that?
I did.
Oh my goodness. I don't have your number, Claire. What the? Dude, that's why I love you, man.
Haven't.
That's why I love you, man.
I also forgot about this.
It's all good. Thank you. Claire's the best, everybody.
She is. She absolutely is.
It's not just the shadow of Ronaldo, though. It's the platform that Casemiro and Eriksen provide for Bruno that allow him to flit around, go wherever he wants on the field, and be that kind of playmaker. And he unlocks everybody else. He plays the key pass that lets Rashford run straight in on goal. He plays the pass that lets Antony do that cutback. He tries to set Martial free. Hopefully he's going to get some good link up with Weghorst, who's a much bigger target. So some of those angled balls into the box can be really, really beneficial. Bruno, as the stat showed today, the only other players who've had as many goal involvements as him over the last couple of seasons are Harry Kane, Mo Salah, and Son Heung-min. I'm sorry, if you want to talk about being in good company in the Premier League, it really doesn't come much better than that. Exactly. I'd also like to point out that two of those players play for the same team. Exactly. So they're spreading the love around. Yes. And it also shows you, as an aside, just how shit Tottenham are, that they've got two players of that quality and can't win games. So
Tottenham's doing Tottenham things.
But I want to big them up because I need Tottenham to hit us up on City.
Yeah, there you go.
This weekend we need a little help, especially after our blip today. But yeah,
Well, I think earlier you said it. For us to, in mid-January 2023, to be saying that, oh my gosh, we should have got 3 points today, because that would have put us within 3 points of Arsenal for first place. I'm like, dude, it's amazing that we're talking like this about Man U right now.
Absolutely, exactly. And I think that's why I'm trying to remain a bit centered about the whole thing. Like, okay, yeah, it's disappointing, and I like this feeling. I like being disappointed in this situation because it reminds me of so many strong years from Manchester United.
Is this transition? Like, it reminds you of where a certain team is right now.
Well, I want to hit the halftime, the true halftime shot, so we can do it appropriately. Before we get to Chelsea, because I think there's truly a lot more to discuss, because there's a lot more going on. Manchester United, to kind of wrap it up, Erik ten Hag has a plan, and he has been a strong enough manager to begin implementing that plan, and the players are following it.
Yeah.
And it, they always talk about what makes, what are your critical success factors for a manager? And yeah, you got to win games, you want to win trophies and things like that. But if you want to be successful long term, is the manager making individual players better? And Luke Shaw is markedly better. Marcus Rashford, obviously better. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who under Ten Hag was kind of in the wilderness, and over the last month
had the save of the day today.
Has played fantastic. Yep. There was concern about even David De Gea this time last year. All of these players are improving. Antony had a blip. Maybe, that price tag is a lot to live up to.
Sure.
But, suddenly people were talking about the pirouette, and does he do enough? And here he is contributing, scoring goals, being there on the, making those backside runs, causing problems for defenders. Honestly, every player, even your Freds and your McTominays, you got to say, have a renewed sense of purpose and an understanding of how they're supposed to play, and the collective energy is great. You saw the way they celebrated winner against Arsenal at the weekend. Really magnificent to see. Ten Hag has a plan. It's being carried out. This time next year, we're going to be talking about Manchester United definitely contending for a Premier League title.
Well, not just that. I think that we very well may be talking about how Manchester United is running away with the title. It's very possible. I think there's one thing I want to say about Man U before we wrap up. I think that Bruno feels so much freer, so much open, not just because he has guys who are playing well up front, but I think it's because of the McTominays, the Luke Shaws, who are able to say, you know what, we're here with you, we got it, and we're solid. And then when you look behind him, like he's like, I finally have control of this kind of chessboard here, and I'm able to do the things I need to do. On the chessboard, he's not the king. he is the piece. He's the queen.
He's
able
queen.
to move
He can go
around
anywhere
he wants, and that suits him so well.
Absolutely. But as we said, the queen is only as good as the players that protect her, and that's what. I mean, somewhere between Bruno and Christian Eriksen, we're talking about a Manchester United central midfielder in a way we haven't discussed since Paul Scholes.
No.
And I don't want to shortchange Christian Eriksen because he's playing in this deeper lying role.
He's doing
but
great.
His passing vision
Oh.
he unlocks Bruno. They
Yes.
all, everything builds upon itself. You have this foundation. You have one of the best goalkeepers in the world in De Gea. You have a back line that is not in disarray. That you can play Luke Shaw as a center back, or you can play Lisandro Martinez as a center back and move Shaw out wide. Shaw as the center back. You've got Terrell Malacia, who has played very, very well.
Yeah.
Gets forward very nicely,
Yep.
puts in good balls. Everyone contributes to making the next person, the next play better. And that's really all you can hope for. That's what we've seen out of the great teams of the past with Manchester United, what we've seen out of Man City over the last few years, what we've seen out of Liverpool the last few years.
Yep.
It's always what you see out of your Barcelonas and Real Madrids. It's what you want to see. As a Manchester United fan, I'm over the moon. I couldn't have possibly thought we'd be here this soon.
Oh my gosh, man.
But I did have belief that Erik ten Hag could be the guy to lead the next true Manchester United Goliath of a team in the way that, look, Alex Ferguson almost got fired. Okay? He was this close to getting fired.
Yeah.
And he won an FA Cup. So you know what? Maybe United keep on form right now. I think they're probably a pretty good lock for a top four, but they're in 4 competitions still. They're still, I mean, legit. Look, if Man City are title contenders, so are Manchester United. They're tied on points.
Absolutely.
FA Cup, League Cup, and Europa League are all there for the taking. So a top 4 finish and maybe 1 or 2 trophies in Erik ten Hag's first season with this team would be unheard of.
Yeah.
And sets a standard and a bar that he himself would say, that's what we're supposed to be doing at Manchester United.
Yep.
That's the way forward. So
Absolutely.
I'm happy. If you got nothing else,
Nothing else
all
for
right,
me and you,
folks.
my friend.
It is. It's halftime. That's all I got for halftime. I don't even know why I did that. Evan, you got anybody that you want to shout out?
Oh man, this is hard. I got 2 shout outs.
Okay.
Yeah. One is a huge Chelsea legend. We didn't get a chance to really do this. Gianluca Vialli.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just absolutely incredible guy. The more I learn about him, the more I love him. For those of you who may be newer Chelsea fans, please get to know this legend.
Amazing.
Guy not only played, he was a player manager.
At a time when that was becoming a thing.
Exactly. He was, a Pete Rose. So
yeah.
So
probably without the betting. But
yeah, without the bet.
Who knows?
But Vialli, to him, just absolutely incredible. And then, I know I hate to do 2, but God, we lost Pele.
Yeah.
Lost him. 2 really just influential footballers in their own right. Most of you know about Pele. Not all of you may know about Vialli, but please get to know both of these wonderful, wonderful ambassadors of the sport because, dude, if you are a Chelsea fan, you need to know Vialli, and if you are a football fan, I'm sure you know the impact that Pele had on it. So, man, what do you got?
Absolutely. There's nothing else to say about Pele. I mean, he's why we all know the sport in this country.
Yeah.
he's almost known for more for being Pele at this point than Pele the soccer player. Like who he is as a human, and what he brought. He was always supporting people, just a positive influence in the world. He was the sporting version of a Martin Luther King Jr. or a Nelson Mandela. Always preaching the gospel of the beautiful game and how it could bring us all together and to just love one another. So phenomenal. Gianluca Vialli, I graduated college in '96 and was just a mad soccer fan at that time. And you had to work to kind of watch a lot of soccer. But I want to say he came to Chelsea in maybe '97 or '98, and he was already a top-level established player, a top player for Juventus in Italy. Came to Chelsea, spent a few years there, and cemented himself as a club legend in just a very short period of time, both as a player and a manager. Really brought success to the club at a time of great transition for both the Premier League and Chelsea as a club. So, yeah, big props. Definitely check out some videos. He was just, as the Italians were at that time, just magical player to watch, and just he'll bring a smile to your face. And he has some good quips and quotes about the game. For me, the world lost a great one recently. A great father, a great coach, a great mentor, somebody who taught me every sport I ever played. Taught me how to compete, taught me how to be a good teammate, how to win and lose. And I tell you, it's been awesome to hear people who played baseball with him, or a lot of my friends who, grew up and said the same thing. And, I think of him as my father, like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen. I didn't think twice. But other people who are like, no, this guy taught me how to win and lose and be a good teammate. And it is with great pride and infinite sadness that we said goodbye to my father last week. But we are not here to mourn. We are here to celebrate. And he was a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Yes.
And I appreciate you all.
To Papa G. Oh.
Evan.
No. Do we have to? Do we have to?
This is, as I've said before, one of those moments where being a fan is sometimes tough. It is.
Yes.
No,
you're right.
It is.
You're right.
It is. And it reminds you of why you are a fan.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And as we've discussed recently, I think Chelsea are largely, as a collective unit, as an organization, where United were about this time a year ago. Slightly different circumstances, new ownership, new manager, blah, 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 blah. But in many ways, a lot of the same struggles. I have several questions for you.
Okay.
My first is, do you believe that the players and the manager are still fighting to salvage this season?
Unequivocally, oh jeez, why did I even try that? Unequivocally.
Don't drink
Wow.
Vegas bombs before you're meant to speak in front of people.
Undoubtedly, yes, they are. They absolutely are. You do not get to this level of play, and not at this type of club, and not have pride in what you're doing. I cannot believe that you do not go out every single day, looking to win, and as opposed to just going through the motions. I think that Graham Potter realizes how massive of a jump this was from Brighton to Chelsea, and I think that he, exactly. He is the one who is sitting definitely on the hot seat. And he's the one kind of looking around going, yeah, okay, I understand this now. I think the players, for the most part, I don't want to say they're divided, but I will say this, is that we definitely know that there are players that are on the roster that were there for, the prior manager. Hey, there it is.
There we go.
All right.
You can actually see us a little bit.
Hey, there you go. That was there for Thomas Tuchel. And I get it. I totally get it. Here's my fear about all of this, is that I'll just answer your question. Yes, I do believe that they are there to play. I do believe that they want to salvage this season. But if you remember what I said at the very beginning of this season on our podcast, I said, Chelsea fans, look, this is going to be a roller coaster season for us. It is going to be full of ups and downs. We went on a 4-game skid. We came back and we won a couple of games. We were on another 4-game skid, and now we've won a game. It's just going to be that. It's going to be that. What do you look? Oh, this.
Every time you hit the table, it was like sliding to the edge. I was like, what are you doing there?
There you go. So that's the type of season we're having right now, and I think that yes, we have to salvage this. We're going to finish middle of the pack. We just have to be okay with that. I'm not sure we make Europa. As a matter of fact, I practiced this because you said that we needed, we probably would make Europa, but I practiced this. Yep. Europa? We're just trying to win a game. So, there you go.
No, I'm with you on that. I think right now you've got to build a little bit of momentum. The Palace match was not exactly a performance, but it was a win.
It was a win.
And who would have thought that, in August or September, if we'd have been having this conversation and you'd have said, hey, big late January match at the turn right after the midway point of the Premier League season, Liverpool and Chelsea, but you guys are going to be in 9th and 10th respectively. Is this just another game coming up, or is this going to destroy one of these two teams?
I think my answer is two-part. Number one, I think that as players, as a coach, I would try and get my players to see it as another game.
Oh, of course.
Just like, look, guys, this is our path to come back and to make sure that we. First of all, you don't even want to throw around the R word in the Chelsea clubhouse. You just.
Oh, we don't use the R word on the show.
No, we don't. You don't do that.
Oh, wait.
The R.
Okay.
R.
Fucking woke mob.
I'm gonna say it.
Relegation.
I wanted to say it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that was a good echo. Relegation.
Relegation.
There you go. You don't say that word in the clubhouse right now because. Do I think Chelsea's going to even get close to relegation? No, I don't think so. You have enough talent in that clubhouse that you can say, hey, you guys pick who goes out and plays, and we're going to be okay. We're going to stay above the relegation zone. I think that when you look at the players, I think that for the past 2 or 3 months, Potter has been trying to figure out who's the best combination, what's going on here, who plays well together. And what you see is a signing after a signing after a signing after a signing after a signing, and we really haven't been able to see who plays well with each other. Now, here it is. We've signed Wesley Fofana, Mudryk, who just came this week at the tune of $70 million. Kukureya, Sterling, Badiashile, Koulibaly, Chukwuemeka, Santos, Aubameyang, Fofana, Felix, who loves to go in with his high
George
high boot.
Santos plays for Chelsea now?
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
He can do everything.
Volleyball and football.
And his
Who
mom
knew?
died twice.
We even
Keep up at home, folks.
We even went to Chicago to sign Gabriel Slonina.
Slonina.
And it's like, I'm like, when does it stop? Like, when do we say, okay? Because here's the deal. You go after, and this is what the January transfer window means for me. I may be 100% totally off. This is why I do not manage an EPL club or own one. But the January transfer window means you've played half a season, right? You've played.
For the record, the reason Evan doesn't own a Premier League club is because he doesn't have $4 billion in the couch cushions at home.
Wait. I'm old school. I put it in the books. But at the halfway point of the season, you've had a chance to look and see what you need. And you go out and you get the best of what you need. To me, it seems like Chelsea is signing folks. It's like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. And my fear is this, is that this 21-year-old kid we just signed, 22.
Deuces.
Mudryk. He's going to come in and he's going to be like, oh my God, what have I put myself into?
And he could have gone to Arsenal.
He could have gone to Arsenal. Arsenal, who is actually on the upswing of things now, to where Chelsea is like trying to figure out who they are. And maybe it's a good move. I don't know. But what I'm saying is this, is that my fear is that he will spend 2 years, 3 years trying to figure out what's going on there at Chelsea, and he's going to get disillusioned. And it's not going to be good for the development of young players.
So Timo Werner.
Basically a Timo Werner. I don't think that Potter right now has the ability to focus on developing players. I think he's still trying to figure out who is going to fit in the system that he wants to put in place at Chelsea. He's not developing players right now, man.
That's an interesting statement and kind of calls back to what I was saying about Erik ten Hag and what he's doing. Has Ten Hag been told he's got 3 years to implement a plan, and he is a disciplined human being and will implement that plan? But Chelsea don't give their managers an opportunity.
No.
Like, you got to win right now.
Yes. Which is unfortunate.
And therefore you can't develop these players. So I guess that was a rhetorical question, since we both seem to acknowledge. But more importantly, Chelsea's brought in all these players, again, reminiscent of Manchester United, just like, all right, we got money, we're going to throw it at the wall, see who sticks, blah, 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 blah. Tell me, I won't even give you a number. Tell me the players who have to leave Chelsea for you to improve.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to pull it up.
Simmons with a D in the house.
What? Is Simmons here? Hey, there he is.
The big D.
The big D. So here's who has to go. Number one, I think we're handcuffed to Kepa. I think we're handcuffed to him.
Is Mendy injured?
Mendy, I don't think he's injured anymore. I think that Potter has made a decision to go with Kepa, and so I think we need to let Mendy go. I really do. I love Edouard Mendy. I love me some Edouard Mendy. But you know what? If we're going to ride with Kepa, then let's ride with Kepa.
He's a large, handsome chocolate man.
He is. And let Edouard Mendy be himself somewhere else on another team where he can contribute. I think that Mendy needs to go. You know what? Thiago Silva is 10 years my younger. But once again, how many 49-year-olds do you have playing on the pitch?
30,
None.
39.
Well, 49.
Oh,
like I said,
true.
Let alone 39-year-olds playing on the pitch. Like he's getting to the point.
Cincinnati Bible College could probably still use you.
Yeah, they probably still could. But anyway, he's getting to the point to where he's and I told you this earlier, I think after this year, he's going to look and he's going to be like, guys, look, I've
think
given
that
everything
makes
I
sense.
have.
That's not a shock.
No, that's not a shock. Could he make another World Cup appearance as a bench player coming up off of the bench? Maybe. I could see him doing that, but the day-to-day, week-to-week type thing, I think that Thiago Silva's done after this year. I think that Azpilicueta, I have some reservations about Dave. I think that he could come off the bench to fill a spot toward the end of matches. As we get there, I think that he provides some type of leadership, but he's getting up there. Jorginho, 31 years old. Just there are other players that can do what he does. There are other players that can do what he does, and quite frankly, do it a little bit better. You can never replace an N'Golo Kante.
No.
Never replace an N'Golo Kante. But my fear is that he's done. These injuries that he's been having has been keeping him off the pitch for a long time. You know, I never thought about it until you said it today. The miles that he has, is just,
there's the rub.
Yeah. It's like that's wearing.
Think about it from just 2015 on alone.
Yeah.
So the last 8 years, he was the entire engine room for Leicester City's side that did miracles.
Yeah.
Then he went on to be that player at the most elite level for both Chelsea and France for a good 3 years in a row.
Yes.
Not missing games. Absolute energizer bunny of a player. I joked with you earlier. I want to know what's got more miles on it, him or his Mini Cooper that he's been driving for years. Because I love him. I absolutely love N'Golo Kante. Honestly, I think you just don't love the game if you can't find a smile for this guy. He just plays with such joy. But these last probably 18 months have just been horrible because at some point your body says no.
Yes.
Absolute says no. I would love it if he could come back and contribute for either you, another club, especially make another run for France at the Euros in 2 years.
Yeah.
That would be great to see. I just wonder if he can.
Yeah. You know, and you said it, Loftus-Cheek, Ziyech, and I forget who the other one was, or Gallagher, were all implicated in possible trades, possible things like that. I agree with you. I don't think Ziyech is going anywhere. I think that he stays at Chelsea. I'm scared about Gallagher. Definitely scared about Loftus-Cheek. I think Loftus-Cheek can get some playing time at another club. I think that he has the ability. The guy is 26 years old. The literal prime of your career, and I think that it's time to let him go. Here's a controversial one. You keep Mateo Kovacic. He is solid. He's 28 years old. The guy's 28. He is solid in that midfield.
If he can accept a role.
Yes, I think if he can accept the role, I think you keep Kovacic because you need a little bit of that. Because, once again, in my theoretical state, if you lose a Thiago Silva, you need that type of enforcer type person back there. Koulibaly's not yet there. I think Kovacic can from the midfield.
He's been a big surprise for me.
He has.
In a sad way.
Yes,
Because I liked him. He was on our radar for quite some time. I don't know if it's necessarily just the Chelsea malaise. He's come into a side that kind of has some issues.
Yep.
Is he not really up to the Premier League? I mean, he got sent off in his very first match, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. You know, he just doesn't look settled. That said, the guy's a wonderful player. We saw him at the World Cup. He's tremendous.
Scored some wonderful goals for Chelsea.
If you can get rid of the deadwood, bring in some players around him, get a good cohesive unit going on.
Yep.
I guess for me, I like Graham Potter. I don't know if Graham Potter's the answer.
Yeah, no.
I still have a question mark around that, but I wouldn't get rid of him.
Stuff to say.
I think you've got to stick by this and just shine it on until the end of the year.
Yeah. I think our Eric Ten Hag is out there. I just don't think it's Graham Potter. However, there's a certain decorum that you have to follow, especially with players aged 22, 24, 26, 22, 23, 19, 18-year-old kids who are out there. There's a decorum you have to follow. Let them play for the Gipper, win one for the Gipper, and then you know what? At the end of the season, if the manager is not up to snuff, let the manager say, you know what, guys, look, great job this year. I'm out.
Yeah. The
next guy coming in, you need it, and that needs to happen. I don't think Graham Potter's the guy. I think that, like I said, I think our Eric Ten Hag is out there. I just don't think we found him yet. And that's a huge, props to you guys. You're watching dunks while we're talking. I'm just saying.
I mean, Luka Doncic is amazing.
Luka Doncic is whatever, dude. Anyway, last little bit of the list.
His name is Luka. He brings the ball up the floor.
Here's the thing. I think we need to take a long, hard look at Kai Havertz. I think Havertz, for all of his positives, he's hurt us a lot this season, and I'm not sure you hang your hat on this kid. I'm not sure that you hang your hat on him. I don't know. I could be totally wrong with that. He had a beautiful header today. Yesterday. It was wonderful. Great job. But Ziyech just delivered that ball, and it was a beautiful delivery. I think, in the right circumstances, you or I could have headed that home. But I think that we take a long, hard look at Havertz. Aubameyang.
Look, he only came there to play for Tuchel.
Yes.
And now that things have gone wrong, ask Arsenal fans what they probably already told you months ago was going to happen with the guy.
Absolutely.
And he's 31, 32.
He's 33 years old.
There you go.
33 years old. So I'm like,
old as fuck, clearly.
Well, once again, if Aubameyang can accept the role that the super sub that we gave away that could have helped us,
Le France à nous.
Man, if he can accept that role, and say, hey, come off the bench, and boom, this is you, dude. This is you from now on. Cool. Joao Felix, Raheem Sterling, Broya, Fofana. I think they're wonderful, but they're not nines. They're not pure strikers. And I'm not sure that we need a pure striker. I think that there are ways you can get around that. I think that we just have to figure out how do we do that.
Well, think about the fact that for the last couple of seasons, City have not had a true out-and-out number 9 striker. We're good. And create so many opportunities and have such good players going forward that you don't necessarily need it. Chelsea doesn't do that.
No.
So perhaps in the interim, they do need a striker that half chances get converted. You need somebody who can put the ball in the back of the net, because that's just really been a struggle. If you can't score in the Premier League, it doesn't matter how plucky you are. Just ask Chelsea, or just ask Leeds, and just ask Crystal Palace.
Yes.
Right? Absolutely. Like Crystal Palace, good on them today, but they needed a hellacious free kick because they didn't look like scoring other ones.
No.
And goals are gold in the Premier League.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with this. Those of you who are Blues fans out there, this is exactly what we need to be.
You have to be.
Aaron taught us this lesson at the early part of the season. You know what? As fans, we just have to constantly, we've got to be able to just say, hey, you know what? Fact is, we're going through a rough spot. We're going through a rough patch. And we're still fans. Guys, listen, I've spent my entire life being a Cleveland Browns fan. It has prepared me for this time as a Chelsea fan. I'm telling you, that's what it's done. So anyway, we have now come to the second to last segment of our show. It's the Hey Aaron segment, and I have something very special prepared for us tonight.
Remember how to shut a
Yeah, exactly. So what I've done is I have presented a video clip that I want to share with everybody as you watch this, and I want Aaron's kind of I don't know, evaluation of this clip after we show it. So Aaron, hopefully we'll be able to get that bad boy up and running sometime soon. So in the meantime, to avoid dead air, here we go. So this clip is absolutely golden, and I will make sure that we can see it on Facebook Live. Let's make sure that we've got this. Let me go live here. Aaron is doing his thing. I think that we will get the video sometime soon. Maybe. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy.
Back, you know what I mean? New ideas, new different standards. And it seems to be working at the moment. Will you stop making those noises? It's definitely. They've been more attacking Wolves at back, you know what I mean? New ideas, new different.
There you go.
A new bounce back, you know what I mean? New ideas, new different standards. And it seems to be working at the moment. Will you stop making those noises, Dan? It's not me. It's definitely.
They've been more attacking Wolves, actually. They have. They've taken more risks. I mean, the jury's still out a little bit because they were a bit lucky at Everton. Leon Bailey missed the last-minute chance of Villa. And they did lose to Forest in the League Cup.
I mean, he's managed some big clubs, this guy. Obviously, he had the old scandal around when he was at the Spanish manager. He announced that he was going to Real Madrid.
There it is. There it is. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, what that was...
Damn it!
Architecture and interior design?
Oh.
Find a 3D designer today.
Just shut the window. There you go. Just shut the window, my friend. Just close it out. Close it out. We're done with it. We are done with it. There you go. Switch us back.
I'm not even sure what's happening.
Switch us back. There you go. Okay, so
I got nothing.
we're good. We're good. Aaron, that was the end of the. Well, that was during the Wolves-Liverpool match. We got to hear some interesting sounds during the commentation of that match, and I wanted to kind of get your takes on that. And you know, the fact is that we were hearing what was called some pornographic sounds, some porno sounds going on during the thing.
Up.
Yeah, here we go.
Which did you sent this to? Which email did you send this to?
To your personal email, my friend.
Oh shit.
There it is.
There we go. All right. Click on that. Am I connected?
Are you seriously going to play it?
Let's see if we can get this.
Oh my. Oh, friends of the pod.
Hello, everyone.
Before we talk sports porn.
Yes.
You know, we're doing more shots. Here we go.
This is what we do here.
This is what we do. Yes.
Much love.
Slanty.
Good friends of the pod.
Yes. Oh my. Oh, Mikey, you're late.
A new bounce back, you know what I mean? New ideas, new different standards. And it seems to be working at the moment. Will you stop making those noises, Dan?
It's not me.
It's definitely.
They've been more attacking Wolves, actually. They have. They've taken more risks. I mean, the jury's still out a little bit because they were a bit lucky at Everton. Leon Bailey missed the last-minute chance of Villa. And they did lose to Forest in the League Cup.
I mean, he's managed some big clubs, this guy. Obviously, he had the old scandal around when he was at the Spanish manager. He announced that he was going to Real Madrid.
So, if If you want to get on the Independent and go to their sports page to get it, I apologize for our technical difficulties. Again, if anyone under the age of 25 would like to volunteer to be an intern for their show and teach us how to do things, that'd be fucking fantastic. But what it was during the BBC coverage of Wolves versus Liverpool.
Which is ironic, BBC. Anyway.
Right. Oh, didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, there you go. See?
But Gary Lineker, Paul Ince, and Danny Higginbotham are discussing the game, and it turns out that someone had taped a cell phone to the back of a camera and activated it to play some porn noise. And I gotta be honest.
I'm not sure we're live anymore. I don't know what happened. We may not be live, but we're still recording to YouTube, so there you go. Aaron taught us my entire life being a Cleveland Browns. Okay.
I mean, we have been. I don't know at this point. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
We're still recording to YouTube, so there you go. Oh wow! So you're connected. Aaron taught us my entire life being a Cleveland Browns.
Oh Jesus! So I'm Chloe. I'm a pit bull mix. It's not a dog, man.
What?
This has spiraled out of control.
Oh man,
He's Aaron. I'm Evan.
I want to get your opinion on this. Like, how brilliant was it to do this?
Well, somebody had access to the studio, and when they get found, they're gonna get arrested. They're gonna get fined because the English don't fuck around like that.
No, they don't.
But it was a pretty boring game. So, and it's Gary Lineker talking about shit. So, I mean, really, you know, it's probably good to have a little bit of excitement in the studio. I'm just concerned for the number of people who thought Danny Higginbotham was getting off. So, there's that.
That is funny. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we are not live on the Facebooks, but we are live on the YouTubes.
Are we not?
I don't think so, man.
It says we're still live.
It does it?
Yeah, I just said. I don't know. I mean, look,
okay. Maybe.
This is what you get, folks. This is live TV.
This is what you get. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's probably good that we're calling
this
quits.
This is mainly for our edification.
This is for us.
We get a lot of free shots.
However,
and, we hang out in our favorite pub.
However, this is really my favorite time, and I am anxiously excited about hearing what you have for us to send us out, because this is Aaron's final thought, ladies and gentlemen. We've changed the format. We're kind of, we're grown men. We're busy. I mean, that's just what happens. Life happens. So you'll see us maybe once a month, or once a month with a short broadcast here or there. But we will always bring the soccer info to you. We will always bring the soccer news to you, the red and the blue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Aaron, what are your final thoughts, my friend?
My final thoughts are this. It's time for new beginnings. It's a happy new year. It's 2023.
Yes.
Gotta be honest, as I indicated earlier, didn't start out in the greatest of ways. Last month's been difficult, not gonna lie. If you've been watching this show for very long, you know I kind of keep it real and tell you what's going on. Because I think we all have a shared experience, and if you know somebody else is going through some shit, it makes it easier just a little bit for you to go through the same shit yourself.
Yeah.
So probably not the way I wanted this year to start out, but endings are also beginnings.
Yes.
And I had a resolution. I tried to do dry January, and the world said, "No, dude, you should probably drink heavily at times."
There you go.
I don't recommend it. I'm all for trying things out. I didn't drink for a week, and that was fine. And then all hell broke loose. But my point is, New Year's resolutions and all that stuff. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing. It just has to be a first step. It's such a cliche, but every great journey, every epic trip was taken with a first step. Take that first step, and I will take it with you. Evan will take it with you. Yep. This show is about being there for one another, supporting one another, acknowledging that we all have this shared love of a particular game, and it brings us together. And then, much like Tony Bourdain used dinner as an opportunity to just get in the door and know people, it's much larger than that.
Just watching that last night.
This is an opportunity for us all to share. We lost Pele, but Pele reminds us that he was about the beautiful game, about bringing people together. That's what this show is about. As much as we kind of have some fun at certain people's expense, if you really truly know us, you know that we are as welcoming as we can be. If you respect us, we respect you back. That's the motto. So I'm kind of all over the place. We've done a lot of shots. But I'm here to keep it positive and keep it real and say, if you've tuned in, we love you.
Yeah.
If you catch us later, hit us up, YouTube, Instagram. I think we're gone over an hour, so we've violated Instagram's silly little rule.
No more Insta.
But you should be able to find us on Spotify, Anchor.
The apples.
And we are on the apples. We will have that posted later as well. So if you want to hear us, get on those platforms. If you want to see us, Facebook Live keeps those videos around for a while. We'll be posting a bunch of stuff. Twitter, YouTube. We should invade Truth Social. You want to invade Truth Social? Want to see how we respond? Those dirty, dirty, dirty soccer players. Okay, we should probably just go. We should just go. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We absolutely love you. If you haven't been reading The Crawl, Chatham Tap Fishers will be open Saturday at 7 a.m. And if you show up at that time, you best order some shit and tip your servers. Miss Claire will be here. Sunday opening at 11 o'clock for the regular menu. I will be here around that time because it's Man U versus Arsenal.
There you go.
Big weekend of footy. Thank you all for tuning in. We love you. Appreciate you. Cheers. Slanty. #Sege.
#Black People Vote.
Black people vote.